can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Are you watching Firstpost? I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, the noise and buzz around Virat and Rohit's last dance against Australia intensify amid growing talks of not considering them for the next World Cup. What are the legends themselves thinking and saying? We'll break this down for you. India is on the cusp of taking a giant leap as Ahmedabad, the Indian city, gets support as host for the Commonwealth Games 2030 edition. But even before the official word is out, we ask, is India really ready? What road bumps lie ahead? And FIFA does a U-turn, bows down to US President Donald Trump yet again. Is FIFA losing credibility in its attempt at winning America? But first, Sports 360. Starting with cricket and the Women's World Cup, Pakistan opened their account in the tournament after their match against England was washed out. They restricted England for 133 in a rain-curtailed game and made a solid start to score 34 in less than 7 overs. Rain then stopped play and points were shared. With only 1 point now in 4 games, Pakistan now rely on other teams for qualifying for the semi-final. Moving to tennis, number 1 seed Naomi Osaka battled injury and a 3-set fight from Suzanne Lamens at the Japan Open round of 16. After losing the first set, Lamens fought back to win the second, leading 5-0 in the third. Osaka paused the game owing to a leg injury. She eventually won the match 7-6, 3-6, 6-2 and is recovering for her quarter-final tie tomorrow. In Formula One, Mercedes have confirmed George Russell and Kimi Antonelli as their drivers for the 2026 season. This comes as speculations over Max Verstappen joining the team peaked. This will be Russell's 8th F1 start with Mercedes. Antonelli is still in his debut season with the Silver Arrows. With 2 Grand Prix wins in 2025, Mercedes are second in the constructors' standings. On to basketball. The governing body of the sport, FIBA, has suspended the British Basketball Federation. A task force set up in August found governance issues within the BBF. Earlier this year, BBF allowed a new professional men's competition to come up. Breaking the rules, Britain will no longer be allowed to field their men's team in international events. Some good news for Britain. Sumo wrestling returned to the country after 34 years. The 5-day exhibition tournament in London's Royal Albert Hall saw a full house on opening day. The star of the show was Ukraine's Ao Nishiki, who flipped his much heavier opponent Atami Fuji with a rare technique. The event is aimed to strengthen ties between Japan and UK. The noise around India versus Australia for an ODI series has never been as loud as it is for this particular one. And the reasons are just 2 words: Rohit and Virat. And the buzz is this: grab your tickets or your seats in front of your television screens or the digital screens to watch 2 of India's biggest superstars play in Australia for possibly the last time. And that's creating enough fanfare, traction and fueling anxiety and tensions leading up to the first game over the weekend. But here's the thing: there seems to be a battle between what the world largely feels and what these 2 stars are desiring. The murmurs are this is probably their last ever. It's being echoed everywhere, but Virat and Rohit are saying, hold on to your thoughts. Question is, who will have the last say? Let me bring you the various perspectives that are clashing here in this particular story or this episode. First, the dressing room itself. Let's start with the head coach, the man who clearly wants to show he holds the reins, the future, the plan and blueprint of India's cricketing future. Gautam Gambhir, he strongly feels no one, particularly these 2, can even think about the World Cup in 2027.
ODI World Cup is 2.5 years away. It is important to stay in the present. They are both quality players. Hopefully, those 2 will have a successful tour.
The perception from these words is very clear. We can't say these 2 stalwarts are a certainty. There are many knocking down on the doors. It's still 2 years away. Now, while you can say he wants everyone to think of the present, one thing is certain, his vision does not necessarily include Virat and Rohit. That's safe to say here. Gambhir wants a brand new team, ushering in a brand new era for Indian cricket. Hence, a brand new captain, also in the ODI format. But what does Shubman Gill feel here? How will he navigate captaining two leaders on the cricket field? Those were images that went viral earlier in the day of Shubman Gill hugging and laughing with the two senior-most players in that team bus. And of course, fans on the sidelines cheering, shedding tears, Gill looking confident, all of that. Really seeming very positive and happy. This is what everyone wanted to see. The future acknowledging the past and wanted to let them guide him. Perfect for the lens, 10 on 10. When it goes as far as optics are concerned, and basically says all is well in that Indian dressing room. Past, present and future happily coexisting in what is clearly a tricky phase for all invested and involved in Indian cricket today. Now we come to the players themselves. What is Virat's view on World Cup 2027? Of course, he has been silent, but his actions have been pretty loud.
In London, he was training during the big layoff. I also know he was practicing cricket easily 2 to 3 sessions a week. That tells you the man is serious about wanting to play this World Cup.
Trust Virat to just put his head down and go about his business as if nothing has changed. And despite this being a big lull for him with no cricket, and knowing Virat Kohli all these years, you can say one thing for sure: if he wants something, he'll go right after it. He's dogged, determined, and that's the aura he's had about him for decades. Needless to say, this is what he wants to communicate. That the experts, former cricketers, even the coach might say 2 years is too far away. I'm going to show you otherwise, like I always have all through my career. Let's look at Rohit Sharma, accused of being carefree about his fitness, his physique. Even a parliamentarian mocked him for his girth. He has not responded with words. Now he made a stunning appearance at an awards night, looking like $1 million. That's commitment, that's dedication, that's hunger for you. That says, I'm here and I'm ready to play. You took away captaincy, that's all right. I just want to continue playing good cricket. They just want to exit the last format in the very same way they did the T20 internationals, with a World Cup title to their names. But what about you, the fans? Delirious. That's just one post here, which possibly resonates the overall sentiment in a cricket-loving country. It's the festival season here, and it's Virat Kohli versus the Aussies. What more fireworks can you really want? This is all you can get, buffet spread, and it's entertainment at its best. Which brings me to the others invested in Indian cricket, from the sponsors to the broadcasters to even the boards, who have all been promoting this as Australia versus Rohit and Virat. Two men who seemingly are enough to hold off a world champion side, and that's what is their story really. A world that lauds them, that couldn't get enough of them, yet questioned their very future and presence in the Indian setup today. Put this down to the last volatile phase of the biggest names who've graced Indian cricket. The drama, though, is only just beginning. The Commonwealth Games are likely to return to India after more than 2 decades. Ahmedabad is taking centre stage. The Commonwealth Sports Executive Board has recommended Ahmedabad as the proposed host city for the 2030 Games, a move that could redefine India's global sporting identity. and set the stage for something even bigger, the 2036 Olympic Games. But the question is India ready to take this giant leap? The city that once drew the world's largest cricket crowd now stands on the cusp of another historic milestone. The formal decision is, of course, due next month. It's not out yet, but if India does get the final nod, the Commonwealth Games will mark India's boldest sporting statement yet, to show the world that it's ready, capable and confident to host the world. And this isn't just about 2030 here. It's about building momentum towards, of course, the big one, the 2036 Olympic dream. And this time, India has made a smart strategic choice. Instead of going back to Delhi, the capital that hosted the scandal-hit 2010 Games, it has chosen Ahmedabad. Because the city represents new India. It has been rapidly transforming with fresh infrastructure, multi-sport venues and modern connectivity. The Sabarmati Riverfront could host the grand opening ceremony, while the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Sports Complex already boasts world-class arenas, capable of hosting everything from athletics to aquatics. India wants to make one thing clear: the nightmare of 2010 will not be repeated. Even Prime Minister Narendra Modi has underlined the bigger picture, that India will bid for the 2036 Olympics. So there's no room for complacency, no room for any excuses.
We see the 2030 Games as a powerful opportunity to inspire our youth, strengthen international partnerships, and contribute to a shared future across the Commonwealth.
But here's the real question: is infrastructure alone enough to make India a global sporting nation? Because while the stadiums are shining, the mindset still needs work. Take the medal tally, for example. India finished 4th at the 2022 Games, a great achievement, but the 2026 edition will be a watered-down version. Only 10 sports will be included. And crucially, most of India's strongholds like hockey, cricket, wrestling, badminton and table tennis are dropped. That means the medal count could drop too, exposing the country's over-reliance on a few disciplines. And what's not helping is a proposal for a fixated template for multidisciplinary tournament qualifications. Basically, only the sure shot medal hopefuls, and that's exactly the problem. If India truly wants to become a sporting powerhouse, it cannot just back the medal favorites alone. It needs to nurture every sport, groom a sporting mindset. Because global sporting prestige isn't built only on victories, it's built on a vision. And vision also means flawless organization. India's record here still raises eyebrows. Forget 2010, even in recent events, issues persist. At the World Para-Athletics Championship in New Delhi, 2 foreign coaches were bitten by stray dogs at the National Sports Complex. That's not just embarrassing, it's unacceptable. Hosting global events means hosting every sport, every athlete, every nation with equal care, attention, respect and safety. Because at the end of the day, credibility matters more than concrete. India must deliver clean execution, transparency and world-class organization. It must prove that these facilities won't just rise for a fortnight and die thereafter. Mega events leave behind massive structures. But will they serve communities and athletes once the lights go out? India must ensure these don't become white elephants, but living, breathing hubs that nurture the next generation of champions. If India does pull off the 2030 Commonwealth Games successfully, it could open the door wide for the 2036 Olympics. But if it fails, it could slam those doors shut for another generation. Up until 2024, FIFA stood for International Federation of Association Football. But under Donald Trump's second term, it's starting to look a lot more like International Federation of American Football. Because lately, whatever Trump says, FIFA follows, even if it means contradicting their own people, their own principles, and their very own vice president. The so-called independent football governing body has once again bent the knee to Trump. FIFA has confirmed to multiple outlets that decisions over host cities for the 2026 World Cup rest with the US president.
Safety and security are obviously the government's responsibility, and they decide what is in the best interest for public safety. We hope our 16 host cities will be ready to successfully host.
Sounds neutral, not quite. Because here's what's really happened. Just hours before that statement, Donald Trump had threatened to yank World Cup matches from Boston.
We could take them away. I love the people of Boston, and I know the games are sold out, but your mayor is not good.
A direct political jab followed by FIFA's diplomatic nod. That's not coincidence, that's submission. FIFA is beginning to look less like football's guardian and more like Trump's PR department. Because with that one statement, FIFA effectively undercut their own vice president, who'd earlier told reporters that politics and football are separate.
Every time a politician makes a statement, whether it's a president or a senator or a congressman or even in my country, quite honestly, or even in Mexico, then I wouldn't be doing my job because I'd be focusing on what these guys say. So the reality is we're focused on the 16 venues. And making sure that they're ready to go once you guys come over and cover the matches.
Two opposite messages from the same organization. The vice president says ignore politics, the headquarters says Trump decides. So what does this really show? That FIFA's playbook changes if it concerns Trump. Let's not forget, this isn't the first time FIFA has bowed down to US pressure. For decades, football was supposed to be the world's neutral sport, free of politics, bias or power games. But ever since the American dream began, that neutrality has vanished. When Trump tightened visa restrictions, FIFA quietly complied with diplomatic realities. When European federations called for Israel's suspension, FIFA said football unites, not divides, conveniently echoing the White House's stance. And now, when Trump bullies a host city, FIFA sides with him again. This is the same FIFA that once claimed to protect global football from any interference, yet seems perfectly fine being micromanaged by the Oval Office. Now compare this with the IOC's stand during the same period when Trump tried to flex his muscles regarding the LA 2028 Olympics. IOC President Christy Coventry didn't flinch.
You know what, at the end of the day, President Trump is a huge supporter of sport. There's never been a sitting president that has attended the Super Bowl, and he did. He was the president at the time when LA was awarded and when the FIFA World Cup was awarded. I truly believe that he wants the LA 28 Games to be a huge success. It will take sitting down and having a good conversation with him, sharing with him our values and where we want to be, how we want LA to be successful. And, being very clear on the different priorities for us as a movement.
That's called asserting autonomy. It's the IOC telling the US president, you may be powerful, but the games aren't yours. Can FIFA do the same? Instead, it's allowing a political leader to dictate tone, venue, and message, while selling the illusion of global fairness. And what's ironic here is that FIFA once banned entire countries for political interference. But when the interference comes from the US president, it suddenly looks the other way. Maybe the world's most global sport isn't that global anymore, where politics, profit, and PR matter more than players or fans. Because here's the truth, the real test of FIFA's credibility won't be the World Cup itself, it'll be whether it dares to stand up to Trump or continues to play the game by his rules. And that's where the story really ends. Not on the pitch, but in the corridors of power, where FIFA was once the referee, is now just another player, taking orders from the biggest political coach in the world. Time for last serve. Aston Martin has just unveiled what they're calling their symbol of teamwork ahead of the United States Grand Prix in Texas. Leading the charge, none other than Fernando Alonso, as the team pulled the covers off their stunning new car. Now, while Aston Martin currently sits 7th in the constructors' standings, this reveal has sparked one question. Can this machine give them the edge they desperately need heading into Austin? Take a look for yourself. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll of course see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.